Hello and welcome to another Drawtober week. I have 7 more ads to show you, let's go! Day 15 was guidebook and I really wanted a fun story about it and not really just a general guidebook of something. I made here the story of a father who's trying to teach his daughters about survival. It's more of a tactic to scare them because in the culture of this guy, the women are usually just safe in the village and he wants his daughters to follow that. But there comes a twist because the wife is part of another clan when men and women are fighters equally, and he knows that and he loves that about his wife, but he's trying. I guess he gets points for trying. The daughters will inherit their mother's fighty style, but I liked this. I think I did a pretty good job to show the family vibe. The perspective, I didn't really feel it. Usually when you make this kind of perspective, you should start with the environment and then with the characters. I didn't do that and now I had to suffer. I really like the faces of the little girls. Next day was Grungy and I had a little bit of a different approach for this one. For those that don't know, I am drawing a character design every month to sell as adoptable. This month I wanted to feel the vibe of the October, so I made a creature design. I also filmed this with my mouse and everything rather than the usual speed painting in order to show how I'm going about designing. I wanted something creepy but something with story and depth. I made this oracle hermit creature that has a mirror inside its mouth. The story, the abilities and everything can be obtained on my Ko-fi where I post all my designs to be bought. I sell 50% rights, which means you can use them, you can change them for D&D, for roleplay, for whatever. You just can't resell them. I'm going to post the picture on the screen for you guys to check the story a little bit. I don't do creatures that much, but I think I want to do it more often. For day 17 I had journal, and while last week I had a day of break and I showed you guys 2 of my previous works, this week I wanted to have this day showing you a previous work because I think it's really important to remember we as artists are not making content, we are making art. I was really happy with this picture last year, so I wanted to show it again. It's a scrapbook for the flower Nightshade. I love scrapbooking, I love watching them. I think people doing them are so creative. I can't do them myself, so I decided why not draw it. So I drew it. And it was hell. I drew every single thing by hand and it was pretty difficult to design it and think about it in a way that makes sense and looks pretty aesthetically at the end. I think this is really cool, just please look at it. Day 18 was Drive, and this one is the most complex one so far because of how many times I tried to get to that picture. I'm going to go through a lot of pictures here. The first one I didn't like because it felt very safe for the character in the picture. The second one didn't feel like a drive. It felt like a environment picture where the character is looking out the window. It didn't really feel right. Third picture, I tried the person is adjusting the mirror and sees something in behind them. While that can be effective, I felt it a little bit boring. We see this kind of thing a lot in the movies and I decided to go with something else. While exploring ideas, I drew a mock-up of Semda's art picture, which I really loved. I love this nostalgic kind of vibe. I even wrote that on the screen. Then I decided to try to change the perspective. What if there's a person that we see from the front while they are having a drive? That was pretty cool, but I felt like the composition and the space was not enough for me to tell a story, so I scrapped that. And the final result, which is the one I went with, was the person is pulling down the window as they see a person approaching. Twist is that person approaching is not a person, it's a entity. Zombie, monster, whatever. I am pretty sure that's not how a car looks like, but I didn't want to use a reference because I'm really trying to put 20 minutes on this. Day 19 was a ridge, and ridge is that part of two mountains that meets. It has a slippery slope on each side and some sort of crest, I guess it's called, on the top. It's a pretty environmental heavy prompt, and I wanted to play with that because I don't always get to draw environmentals, but I still wanted to make it a cool story. This kind of big mountain range thing where a character is looking and they actually found there a dragon nest. My idea was good, but not for this medium because the more sketchy style didn't really make it justice. So in order to combat that, I decided to add color, and I think that really pulled it together to show what it was supposed to be like. If I were to make this into a real picture, I think I will change the entire perspective actually, but I really liked the idea. Day 20 was Uncharted, and what's better to show that than a pirate that's going on a adventure with uncharted territory. That was the idea. I started straight up sketching the boats. I added in the person, I added in the idea of a crew. I had the image so clear in mind that I knew exactly what I wanted to do. My only critique for this is the rope that the captain is holding on, because it looked like a snake. A lot of my friends said that. If this was made into a real picture, I would just make everything the correct texture and stuff so it reads well. Ironically, this is one of my most complex pictures, and it was quite easy to make because I knew exactly what I wanted from it. I changed a bit the perspective of the front rope thingy towards the end, and I really like this. I got the goal. The goal of this challenge was to learn how to make good thumbnails that tell a story. And I think this one shows me that I did indeed learn something in this challenge. And day 21 came and we have Rhinoceros. This is not a prompt I would usually go to, but I said, why not? Let's try to make something. I started sketching out the animal. I wanted a action pose with this, and I wanted something that looks in motion. I was pumped up from the previous day, so I went straight in with the idea of a animal chasing a character. The image was easy, the execution was not. I think the design of the creature, it's alright, it's not the best, it's just a creature looking a little bit more fantasy than the normal rhino. I wanted the idea that this creature came out from the darkness, and the torch was the only thing that was keeping this person alive. That's why it's quite in the middle of the picture. Just don't look at the pose of the character, it looks like it's dancing in the first part. I don't know why I made it like that, but it just is. I think I was struggling to make the character look in motion, which is something I still need to learn. And again, these are meant to be thumbnails, these are meant to be quick pictures that tell a story in order for me to help my clients or myself easily pinpoint what I want from the picture. And that was it. This is the third week of Drawtober. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. I hope you got inspired by it. See you next time with the last week, as well as a illustration for Halloween. Bye bye.